He shuddered. By God, how he hated India. But he was home now, in the idyllic Hampshire town of his childhood. His lodgings were only 2 miles from Haverley, the Wintham estate. What had begun as a spy hunt mere weeks ago had ended in a bruising fistfight with Nate. The fight had been a long time coming, more than 15 years, but it was done now, and the sooner Nick returned to London and claimed his new title, the better. There was just one small matter to attend to, one loose end that he could not leave dangling. It was not a matter of morals so much as practicality. Loose ends had a way of becoming web-like as they unravelled. He would not like to find himself entangled. She was alive, despite all arguments to the contrary. He had seen her with his own eyes, standing at a distance the morning he fought his brother. The shock of it had been enough to give Nate the upper hand, which had been a new experience for Nick. He'd never lost before. It had been quite unsettling. And now he must see about the girl. She couldn't continue to wander Hampshire like a ghost of sins past. But first he would read the Duke's letter just one more time. A knock on the door distracted him. He frowned. The clock had just struck 10, an unusual hour for visitors. Who else could it be but his infernal brother? He wrenched open the door. It was not Nate. Instead, there was his loose end, looking very much untied, given the pistol she pointed at him. "Adelaide," he said with far more calm than he felt. He reached for the pistol. There was a bang and a moment of searing pain. She did not finish her sentence, but then, he supposed, she did not have to. The bullet made her point quite nicely. Chapter 2. Adelaide Bursnell knew she was not a good girl. A good girl would not have been seduced by a man she hardly knew. A good girl would not have surrendered her virtue without a wedding ring. A good girl would not have faked her own death, rather than return to her family in shame and humiliation. A good girl most certainly would not shoot her former lover, no matter how much he deserved a bullet to the flesh. And yet, if the red liquid spilling from Nick's arm was any indication, she had done just that. She stared hard at the crimson seeping through the white linen of his sleeve, willing it to go back where it belonged. When it did not, she did the only thing she could do when confronted with such ugliness of her own making. She fainted. Or she tried to, anyway. A good girl would have been able to accomplish a ladylike swoon, she had no doubt. But Adelaide was not a good girl, and the best she could do was a facsimile of the real thing. Her eyelids fluttered closed, and her body swayed delicately before collapsing in a silken heap on the floor. His footsteps came close and paused. The cool metal of her pistol slipped from her grip. She held her breath. Maybe he would leave to find help, and she could make her escape. But no. She heard a clunk as he set the weapon down somewhere, a table perhaps. Then his footsteps returned. Drat! Nick nudged her hip with the toe of his boot. She ignored it. He nudged harder. When she still did not respond, he squatted down and shook her roughly by the shoulder. She opened her eyes, and there he was, so close that he filled her vision, blocking out the room and all its contents. All she could see were his ice-blue eyes and scowling lips. Even with the purple bruise on his cheek and the small cut above his left eye, he was beautiful. Her heart raced. She commanded